Secure love often starts with a detail people overlook. A familiar how to recognize secure love example is when secure love feels steady rather than constantly dramatic. A partner can be busy without making the relationship feel threatened. Trust is not destroyed by normal distance. People often feel pressure around how to recognize secure love before they can explain where it came from. The situation is easier to judge when trust is not destroyed by normal distance is treated as a likely effect, not a mystery. Secure love becomes clearer in a concrete situation. In how to recognize secure love, the real-world version may be that communication is direct enough to be useful. Someone can say they are hurt without launching an attack. Honesty is paired with care. This is the detail that changes what to check next in how to recognize secure love. A person who catches this early can respond before honesty is paired with care becomes harder to reverse. Secure love changes the decision before anyone names it. It shows up in small moments, such as when repair happens after conflict. Partners apologize, clarify, and change behavior instead of pretending nothing happened. Rupture is treated as something to mend. Noticing that driver early can keep how to recognize secure love from becoming harder to manage. For how to recognize secure love, the real sequence matters more than the most dramatic detail. Secure love has a cost that appears later. Look at a case where boundaries are respected. One partner can ask for time alone without being punished. Closeness does not require constant access. The headline alone does not show the whole chain behind how to recognize secure love. That difference matters because closeness does not require constant access is often where the pain or cost is felt. Secure love depends on timing as much as facts. A concrete version is when affection is consistent enough to trust. Care appears in ordinary habits, not only grand gestures. Small repeated signals build safety. The background force should guide the next decision in how to recognize secure love more than the first reaction. The situation is easier to judge when small repeated signals build safety is treated as a likely effect, not a mystery. Secure love can look simple from outside. In a normal day, secure love does not erase anxiety instantly. Old fears may still appear in a healthy relationship. Security is shown by how partners respond to fear. In how to recognize secure love, the clearer reading follows the cause instead of stopping at the visible result. A person who catches this early can respond before security is shown by how partners respond to fear becomes harder to reverse. Secure love creates pressure in ordinary life. Picture the situation where both people can have needs. One partner needing comfort does not make them weak and one needing space does not make them cruel. Needs are discussed rather than shamed. The moment becomes easier to handle when the moving part is named clearly in how to recognize secure love. For how to recognize secure love, the real sequence matters more than the most dramatic detail. Secure love is shaped by rules and incentives. The clearest version is when decisions include both voices. Plans, money, family, and time are not controlled by one person alone. Respect shows up in practical choices. That mechanism explains why the topic affects real choices in how to recognize secure love. That difference matters because respect shows up in practical choices is often where the pain or cost is felt. Secure love becomes risky when assumptions replace evidence. In how to recognize secure love, someone may notice that accountability is normal. A person can admit being wrong without collapsing or counter-attacking. Mistakes are not hidden to protect ego. Seeing the cause early gives people more room to respond well in how to recognize secure love. The situation is easier to judge when mistakes are not hidden to protect ego is treated as a likely effect, not a mystery. Secure love is easier to handle when the moving parts are visible. Watch what happens when trust is not blind. Secure love allows questions, clarity, and boundaries. Trust grows from evidence over time. In how to recognize secure love, the visible event can distract from the driver that needs attention. A person who catches this early can respond before trust grows from evidence over time becomes harder to reverse. Secure love has both a visible side and a quieter side. How to recognize secure love becomes concrete when conflict does not become character assassination. Partners can dislike a behavior without declaring the whole person bad. Specific complaints are easier to repair. When how to recognize secure love appears in real life, this is the detail to check first. For how to recognize secure love, the real sequence matters more than the most dramatic detail. Secure love can turn small choices into larger consequences. For example, support is reliable without becoming control. A partner encourages growth without taking over the other persona's life. Care does not remove autonomy. In how to recognize secure love, this is the point where the visible choice and the real pressure start to meet. That difference matters because care does not remove autonomy is often where the pain or cost is felt. Secure love rewards preparation more than guessing. In real life, jealousy is handled with honesty. Someone can name insecurity without using it to control the partner. Feelings are real but not always instructions. That is why how to recognize secure love should be read through facts rather than a quick assumption. The situation is easier to judge when feelings are real but not always instructions is treated as a likely effect, not a mystery. Secure love can be misunderstood when people focus on one number. Think about how secure love feels safe to be ordinary. People do not have to perform perfection to remain loved. Rest, bad moods, and awkward conversations can exist. For how to recognize secure love, the important move is to notice the chain from first signal to final effect. A person who catches this early can respond before rest, bad moods, and awkward conversations can exist becomes harder to reverse. Secure love affects trust because expectations are involved. A simple how to recognize secure love case is this. Future talk is possible. Partners can discuss commitment, uncertainty, or change without panic taking over. Clarity is not treated as a threat. That sequence explains why how to recognize secure love can grow even when the first moment looks small. For how to recognize secure love, the real sequence matters more than the most dramatic detail. Secure love works differently for different people. How to recognize secure love appears when care is shown under stress. Illness, disappointment, or busy seasons reveal whether love remains considerate. Security is tested when convenience disappears. The early sign matters in how to recognize secure love because it can change cost, trust, timing, or emotional meaning. That difference matters because security is tested when convenience disappears is often where the pain or cost is felt. Secure love should be checked before money or emotion is committed. One ordinary how to recognize secure love version is that secure love includes joy. Safety is not only calm problem solving, it also allows play, warmth, and shared humor. Relaxation opens the door to pleasure. The pattern in how to recognize secure love is easier to handle when the first signal is noticed instead of dismissed. The situation is easier to judge when relaxation opens the door to pleasure is treated as a likely effect, not a mystery. Secure love becomes easier to manage when records are clear. Consider the moment when no relationship is secure every minute. Tiredness, fear, and conflict can still create missteps. The pattern matters more than one imperfect moment. The answer in how to recognize secure love is usually found in the cause, not in the label people attach afterward. A person who catches this early can respond before the pattern matters more than one imperfect moment becomes harder to reverse. Secure love requires a specific next step rather than a vague hope. How to recognize secure love becomes clearer when the body often notices security. Breathing feels easier, thoughts spiral less, and silence does not always feel dangerous. Emotional safety becomes physical over time. Once the cause is named in how to recognize secure love, the response can fit the situation more closely. For how to recognize secure love, The real sequence matters more than the most dramatic detail. Secure love matters because the result is felt in daily life. In How to Recognize Secure Love, notice when secure love is recognized by consistency, respect, repair, and freedom to be real. It does not depend on constant excitement or perfect certainty. It feels safe enough for honesty and strong enough to survive ordinary human mistakes. The link between those pieces is what makes How to Recognize Secure Love useful in real life. That difference matters because it feels safe enough for honesty and strong enough to survive ordinary human mistakes is often where the pain or cost is felt.